Oh, good. Oh my goodness. There we go. Hello, hacheef. And anyone else who may be watching this video, thank you for watching. Hello, kings, queens, everyone in between.
It is good to be the king.
We're gonna be doing a general guide study today. We're going to be studying a specific mod made by hacheef. Pretty exciting mod. So, yeah. Maybe we'll just chill for a second before we dive into it. I've been having a little bit of audio issues here. I hope there's no audio problems currently. And then, like, it didn't want to screen share this doc for some reason, but it looks like it's working now. So, we should be chill. Hopefully we at least get some attendance. There's a lot of age content going on right now on Twitch, so maybe we get some interest. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I did want to just make this a video to like put up on YouTube too, or if just that others could review later. So not a huge deal if no one shows up. The video will still exist. Oh yeah, as you can see, I've got my Age of Empires soundboard.
Yes. No.
It didn't want to frickin' go into the preamp for some reason. It's being really... Welcome, Yorick, Lord Yorick. But yeah, for some reason this Age soundboard doesn't, or my soundboard doesn't want to go in through the preamp, but life goes on. Life goes on. We live. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna make this into a video, I'm thinking, so we can just kind of get right into it. So, the general guide, the HF rebalancement is what it's called. Rebalancement. Some pretty exciting stuff here, so I'm stoked. Let's dive in here. So, first thing we see is archers and crossbowmen are split into their own unit lines. Archers move and fire faster, do bonus damage to spearmen and ships, and the resource cost is weighted more towards wood. I'll tell you right now, archers are strong in this mod. They are very strong. And yeah, they're really good.
Yes.
Archers are good. Archers are very good. More resource cost toward wood. So yeah, I might have to add an extra villa in order to afford these archers because they are a little higher on the wood. One cool thing here is that crossbowmen, because they're in a different line, we're talking, hacheef says we're talking 40 wood, 25 gold for the cost. I'm not a mathematician. I'll let someone else figure that one out. But they're split into different lines. So, like, you don't just get the crossbowman upgrade. I mean, you, like, most of it will just get crossbowmen, but it's not from an upgrade. So your archers don't just transform into crossbowmen. It's they're different lines now. So that's actually, I think, a good balance to like that crossbow power spike that we normally would see, where suddenly all the archers are boom crossbowmen. Huge power spike there that's kind of bypassed, which is cool. So crossbowmen do more damage, are more accurate, have a bonus against siege units. Ooh. Are trained faster, and their cost is weighted more heavily towards gold. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Archers also have one less range in feudal age to balance out their increased firepower. Doesn't make a whole lot of a difference. I mean, maybe some wood lines, like those fatter wood lines, might be like, oh, where an archer normally could have fired over this wood line, now they can't. But I don't know. I think that their firepower and strength is still just really good. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move past archers. Oh, this is a good one. Wild horses, wild camels, wild back train camels, as well as aggressive animals like wolves, can now be hunted. They have food on them. They have food on them, just like a throwback to Age 1.
Yes.
That's very good. I love it. Hunters also gain +1 attack like in Age 1, and one can therefore take on a wolf without loom. This is an effort to make nomadic civilizations less reliant on farms to strengthen their identity, although every civ gets something out of it. Yep, cool. Yep, we like it. We like the Age 1 callback of being able to hunt animals. Like, why don't lions and wolves have meat on them? Like, what's the point of them not having meat on them? They should have meat on them. This is very good.
Yes.
Some units are more widespread, like elephant archers, armored elephants, and steppe lancers. Okay, so that's just like letting you know that elephant archers, armored elephants, and steppe lancers are going to be across more civs. Maybe we'll hear more about it later here. So, projectiles fired by onagers, bombard cannons, cannon galleons, and trebuchets have higher projectile speed. While this is mostly for the sake of realism, come on, vanilla cannon galleons fire helium-filled balloons. Normally, yeah, those things like fly super slow. It does have the side effect of making some units stronger, especially onagers, which makes them a lot more viable against the AI's insane micro. That is why crossbowmen needed to counter siege. I don't disagree with crossbowmen doing more damage against siege. I like it. I don't think it's bad. Hacheef says, I updated the guide to tell what civ gets the regional units, but I haven't uploaded it. Okay. We'll just, I guess we can revisit that later, that specific detail. So this one's fun. Like, with the siege units firing faster, it makes gameplay, like, pretty wild. Like, it's pretty chaotic with the faster firing projectiles, and it's pretty fire, honestly. Some previously unique units have been given the Elephant Archer treatment and are now common or regional units. These units include Imperial Skirmishers, Camel Scouts, Imperial Camel Riders, Genitors, Plumed Archers, Slingers, Cataphracts, Boyars, Organ Guns, Throwing Axemen, War Wagons, and Camel Archers. In the case of Boyars and Cataphracts, they replace units from the Knight line. Plumed Archers replace Composite and Elite Archers. Genitors replace Skirmishes. The civilizations that used to have these as their unique units have been given new ones. Okay, maybe I can zoom in on this a little more. Is that better? That might be better. Okay. Very cool. So just like more units. More civs getting more units. There's a redesign of water combat. So in vanilla, water combat is very obscure. There's a lot of hidden bonus damage involved, and you never know what's going to do what. So I did the best I could to make it clear, more honest, without altering the general balance of water too much. The main difference is that, as a result, ships are considerably stronger against everything on land, including castles. So I buffed Heated Shot as well to make the Archer line affected by it! Yes! We needed Heated Shot. Everybody wanted this. Everybody wants Heated Shot to affect Archers.
Yes.
Yes.
That is a 100% yes. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway. Where were we? Yeah, buff Heated Shot. Heated Shot. Archers get it. And so they can shoot down ships with Heated Shot. Heated Shot finally matters. Okay. Siege towers work differently. Oh, here we go. This is great. So I've read this guide once before, so I kind of know what's coming, but I'm telling you, this gets good. So siege towers work differently. Instead of being used to unload units over walls, they are like... Let's see, where is it? Oh, my eyes moved. They are instead mobile towers that can be garrisoned with foot archer to fire more arrows. Like regular towers, but they must be built directly on the battlefield by villagers, and they do bonus damage against buildings and walls. So they're like mobile towers that fire arrows.
Yes.
Yes. That's so cool. Okay, and I've played with them. They're fun. Oh man. Several bonuses that normally appear in Castle Age have been reworked to appear in Feudal Age in an effort to make feudal combat more diverse and interesting. Some civilizations even get cavalry archer in Feudal Age. Although feudal cavalry archers aren't an easy strategy to pull off, yeah, I wouldn't imagine, as they are considerably weaker before hitting Castle Age and getting beaten by both archers and skirmishers. Haven't really pulled that one off yet. Haven't really tried, but seems like a fun one to go for. As this mod is being made, several official balance changes occur in the game. I have elected to ignore some of them, either because they don't fit with the changes that this mod already makes, or mostly because they actively work towards making civilizations more generic. Using fire, including Tarkans, as well as hand cannoneers and conquistadors deal 4+ damage to elephants for the sake of historical accuracy. By no means does this make elephant units underpowered, as they do receive a few buffs, mostly civilization specific. Camel archers have slightly reduced attack, but have some minor bonus damage against cavalry, in addition to their bonus damage against mounted archers. Elephant archers no longer take increased damage from anti-mounted archer bonus damage. Okay. So some changes to where bonus damage can be found. Eagle Scouts and Camel Scouts also train faster in Feudal 40 seconds in order to make them a viable rush option. In Castle Age, Eagle Scouts split into 3 unique units, depending on civilization. Slingers. We get Stone Slingers. Another Age 1 callback. Yes!
Yes.
Slingers' attack and range are no longer increased by the blacksmith upgrades, but by the stone binding upgrades and chemistry. Okay. Alright. Well, wait a sec. Oh, I got an idea. I got an idea how that can work. I'll bring it up later. Hand cannoneers no longer have bonus damage against infantry, and have instead increased attack, and they ignore armor. With condottieri, I hope I say that right. With condottieri ignoring this effect so as to remain a viable counter, thus also making them stronger against. I did look this one up. This one is pronounced Lachey. Against Lachey, and that's not my problem. Let me know if I'm saying that wrong, if anybody knows if I am saying that wrong. So the point of that sentence there, hand cannoneers, they no longer have bonus damage against infantry. Ouch! I mean, I thought hand cannoneers was like the main thing to use against infantry, so I guess we'll see how this all ties together. And instead have an increased attack. Well, overall increased attack, that's not that there you go. And they ignore armor. Okay, yeah, hand cannoneers sounds strong. With condottieri ignoring this effect so as to remain a viable counter. Okay. Also, I'm including here for completeness' sake because it will only I don't know what's being said here. If you somehow happen to have hand cannoneers before researching chemistry, but their base accuracy has been lowered quite a bit until you research chemistry, which brings it back to its default level. This is to lay some groundwork for later. Increased attack is no longer the case. They were absolutely broken. Okay, I kind of thought they would be a little bit. The armor ignoring stays, though. All right. No worries there. Yeah, that sounds like they were going to be really strong. Organ guns have 1 less attack but ignore armor. This is to give the player an incentive to make them over hand cannoneers in some situations, as the high upgrade cost in both time and resources can deter one from it. Hand cannoneers remain the better choice against elephant units. Yeah, it's kind of neat how many civs get organ guns. But yeah, we'll see more on that. Heresy has been reworked, so I know you're getting your units converted isn't necessarily fun, but on the other hand, monks are part of the tech tree, and one of their core functionality is completely invalidated by a tech that over half the civilizations in the game have. Also, I needed one extra slot at the monastery, so I nerfed Faith. Made it cheaper tech and reduced its effectiveness, but that's because Heresy becomes the first level of conversion resistance, much like Fletching is only the first level of archer attack upgrades both. Once both Heresy and Faith are researched, the conversion resistance bonus is stronger than what is in the vanilla game when you research Faith. This is great. Honestly, Heresy is stupid. Like, oh, your units just die when they get converted. That's dumb. Nobody likes that. Like,
Yes.
home run. Just make more conversion resistance, but yes. Okay. On the other hand, the old heresy effect no longer is a thing in this mod. And yes, that is for the best. Naturally, the few civilizations that did not have access to heresy in the vanilla game now do, but lack faith instead. The only exception is Tatars, since they don't get either anyway. Also, Atonement is researched in 30 seconds instead of 40. Okay. Love it. Bonus and unique technologies are activated in full tech tree mode. Do we want to read this? Sure. Not team bonuses, though, except Condottieri. I wish to stress that this is not the purpose of the mod. I did not balance or design it with the full tech tree in mind, and therefore full tech tree is sort of a broken mess. But by Cthulhu, I swear that it is a fun broken mess. And if the first thing you're thinking about is Longbowmen with the range bonus and Thumb Ring, or Frank Paladins with 112 hit points, rest assured that you have a lot of much more exciting and insane surprises coming for you should you decide to try it. Let's go! New units rejoice! I tried to keep a low count of entirely new common units as to not overwhelm players. These units include new units! Crusader Knights, an expensive cavalry unit trained at the castle in Imperial Age. Once your castle age unique tech has been researched, it has the hit points of a knight, but 4 melee and pierce armor and 18 attack. Accounted for resources, it generally performs similarly to a paladin in most situations, but with the heavy resource investment required to upgrade it. It is also impossible to convert. What? Crusader Knights can't be converted? Oh! Available to the English, the Franks, the Teutons, the Burgundians, and the Sicilians. Oh, that's a fun little twist. Fire Lances, an infantry unit that's very similar to the vanilla Uromi Swordsman in that it has a charged attack that deals extra damage in the area. However, where the vanilla Urumi Swordsman is an unstoppable monster, the Fire Lancer is cheaper and weaker. It, however, deals bonus damage to cavalry. The Fire Lancer gets the distinction of being the only melee unit having the gunpowder armor class, making it very easy to counter with Condottieri. Available to the Mongols and the Chinese. So the Mongols and the Chinese get these. A Fire Lancer, huh? So it's like a spearman with a flaming hot poker. That's what I'm imagining. Flamethrowers, a siege unit that requires chemistry. While short-ranged, it is quite proficient at destroying buildings and deals bonus damage to infantry and elephants. Flamethrowers are freaking cool. They look like mangonels, and their animation looks sick. It's like a spray of fire. Obsidian Swordsman. American civilizations get some more emphasis on the theme of quantity over quality to represent how they fought against small but technologically advanced Spanish expeditions. Obsidian Swordsmen are an American replacement for long swordsmen. They cannot be upgraded further, but come with their own advantages, mostly civilization specific. They are trained faster, move faster, gain 3+ anti-building damage in Imperial Age, and take less population space. Other than that, they have the stats of a long swordsman. I personally don't think that they, like, on paper, they sound very good, the Obsidian Swordsman, but I could be wrong. I mean, I could be wrong. They train faster, so that's pretty cool. But But yeah, just on paper, they don't sound that good. Saracens have fire lances now as well, says hacheef. Awesome. Okay. Saracens with the fire lances. Slaver Cavalry, a high-risk, high-reward unit that can be trained at the town center as soon as feudal. It takes 25 seconds to train just like a villager, but costs 75 food and 50 gold. That might seem overpriced for a unit with such terrible combat stats, but its value comes from its ability to kidnap enemy villagers and bring them back to your town center, turning them into your own villagers. They even retain the resources they were carrying. While not every civilization has access to it, it is not a crucial unit to have. I am wondering about Slaver Cavalry also. Like, I don't know if I'm terrified of them, but like, does it work like a conversion? Like, is it basically the same mechanics as a conversion, or like, how does it actually work? If you don't mind answering that for us, hacheef, because I haven't seen it in practice, and I'm just wondering, like, what is that going to look like? Do you have to like, not at all like a conversion? Okay. I just imagined it was like a conversion, but sounds like not at all. It's like a mandatory transport ship. Okay. Oh, okay. So, like, he literally just, like, walks up, and instead of attacking them, he's like, yoink! Poke it with their lance, and then have the villager in garrison. That's wild. Okay. No, yeah. Okay. I figured that might be how it goes, but glad to know. Yeah, I want to try that strat too, just like a slaver strat. That would be fun. Then they will automatically run back to your town center and drop it off, and it will be your villager. Oh, okay. So it's just like one at a time, automatically going back. Oh, that could be weird though if like pathing is, or you don't. Like, if they're running back and you're like, no, don't go that way, and then they just die, and you can't control them. That might be disappointing, but hey, the slaver life sounds crazy. Dervishes appear in the original Age of Kings design document and were supposed to be the Saracen unique unit. Designed as mounted berserks. Doing a bit of research, I found out that dervishes are a religious concept. So we have a raiding cavalry unit that is trained at the monastery.
Yes.
That's cool. That is actually cool. It's like another reason. It's like, oh, that's a monastery. That's not that scary. Yes, it is. It is now. So we have a raiding cavalry unit that is trained at the monastery. Dervishes have a resource cost comparable to Shrivamsha riders and are affected by bloodlines, husbandry, fervor, and sanctity. Woo! And deal bonus damage to civilian buildings. Interesting. Only civilian buildings, not military buildings. Gotcha. They also happen to be quite good against archers. Available to the Saracens, Turks, Persians, Berbers, and Tatars. Okay, so yeah, in my game when I played the Persians, I should have like aimed for dervishes. That would have been cool. Oh, imagine though, these dervishes with bloodlines, husbandry, and fervor. Sheesh! Elephant cannoneers, similar to a conquistador but on an elephant. It doesn't have as many HP as other elephant units, but makes up for it in sheer damage. Elephant cannoneers sound terrifying. Persians don't have the best dervishes, but Saracens and Turks get bonuses for them. Alright, I'll try to remember that. Oh, elephant cannoneers, though, I'm telling you, those sound awful. Like, that sounds really scary. Like, it has the hit points of an elephant and the firepower of a cannon. Oh, that sounds so awful. Oh. This one sounds cool. The Canoes, a small warship that costs no gold. When resources are taken into account, it's not that different from the galley line, though can be surprisingly good against large ships. It only costs 0.75 population space. That's interesting. Oh, yeah, I definitely want to do, like, water. We need to do some water games with, like, and see canoes in action. I really want to see that in action. Chief says, still working on the elephant cannoneer's balance. Also, canoes can transport units now. Cool! Siege Hulks, large warship. I originally designed them as a siege ship for civs without cannon galleons, and then we got dromons, and that depressed me, even if the dromon itself is a great unit. That won't be the last time I get stepped on the toes like that. Anyway, Siege Hulks fire multiple bolts that each lower the armor of the target by 1. Making them excellent at dealing with heavily armored ships. They aren't quite as effective against lighter ships like canoes or the galley line. They do resist some anti-ship bonus damage. Native American civilizations gain access to them so that they gain at least an option for siege ship, even though it's not going to be useful for shore bombardment as cannon galleons or dromons. That still sounds like it has some value in reducing the armor on other ships. That could be real good if used correctly. Springled Towers. An alternative type of tower that fires scorpion bolts, damaging units in a line in a similar way. Garrisoning archers inside Springled Towers will cause it to fire extra arrows instead of additional scorpion bolts. The Springled Tower becomes available once you build a siege workshop. To the English, Franks, Burgundians, Teutons, Byzantines, it is affected by the Khmer team bonus and deals minor bonus damage to rams and elephants. Okay. Lombard cannons. How do you turn this on again? Maybe something happens when you turn it off instead. What? Alright. New text. Hunting dogs. Returning right from the forgotten, hunting dogs does exactly what it used to. For 40 food and 25 wood, it increases the work speed of hunters and fishermen by 25%. And is researched in the mill in Dark Age. The only civilization that doesn't have access to it is Mongols, of course. Revetments. In Castle Age, for 200 wood at the university, you may upgrade your Palisade walls to Fortified Palisade walls. It should be noted that even as humans, they aren't as strong as stone walls, but this is definitely a worthy upgrade in some situations. I have concerns about that, but I will keep them to myself. Trojan Tactics. Still at the University and Castle Age, Trojan Tactics grants 50 hit points and 5 garrison space to transport ships and siege towers. It also grants +2 garrison space to rams. Trojan Tactics, huh? Okay. Invasion. At the dock in Imperial Age, invasion increases the movement speed of transport ships by 10%. Just transport ships? Okay. Block printing. I have renamed that technology to Afterlife, like in Age 1. But the effect is the same. The new technology called block printing reduces the training time of monastery units by 30%. Ooh. Okay, I think that was going to be my question about invasion. I was like, so does that affect any other ships that can transport? So thank you for answering that, hacheef. So that's actually pretty cool. That is actually quite cool if it affects all those different types of ships that can transport. Love it. Slavery. Yeah, okay, it's not a good thing at all, but it was all the rage back in the Middle Ages, so I decided to include it. Basically, you can buy villagers at the market for 90 gold. They're expensive, but trained faster. It's not meant to be a replacement for booming, more for an emergency economy reinforcement if you need it. I can see how that could be useful. I mean, it's at the market. It's like having a second source to produce eco units, much like a dock. I could see that being a good thing if you could remember that you can get an extra villager in queue if you want to budget the gold that way. Why not? Stone mines have 400 stone in them instead of 350. So a little boost there. I like it. Coinage is free for every civ. Banking, however, is a Byzantine civ bonus. guilds has been removed, but every civilization has a specific market exchange rate ranging from 5% Saracens to, like the Saracens Portuguese, to 35% Huns. Watchtowers must be upgraded from outposts at the blacksmith in feudal age for 150 food. You probably think it's a bad decision, and it is, but I need to put that Springled Tower somewhere. Okay, so I'm coming around on this one. This one's actually kind of neat. You build the outpost, and then later upgrade all your outposts into towers. So I'm thinking what this could do is if an outpost is built. Did you do anything to the building time of outposts, hacheef? Like, or do outposts still build pretty fast? And you could essentially like stack a ton of outposts, hit that upgrade, and boom, you've got a bunch of towers. What do you think? If you're still here. Like, they have the same resource and time cost as towers. I'm evil, but I'm not a monster. Okay. Yeah. No, that's fair. I just thought that would be like something that could be exploited. Like, haha, let me just outpost rush here. Yeah, that would be too nasty. Way too nasty. But yeah, no, it definitely like reduces the power of the trush, which is honestly probably a good thing. Because it got to the point where it's like any of my matches outside of the mod, any of my matches, it was just like send 3 vills with a tower, pressure, and it just kind of was always a thing. So it's kind of cool to see that it's got a reduction to like the time in which you can do it. You've got to get that blacksmith first. Every civ is going to feel stronger than in vanilla, the idea being that if everything is strong, then it's balanced. Sound logic. A small change in terminology. Units created faster or buildings working faster is now expressed in units created in less time. While the written numbers may seem like the bonus is weaker, they in fact represent the same thing. For example, the Hun stables working 20% faster are now said to be working 16.7% less time, which is in fact the same bonus expressed in a different way. This is to avoid confusion, as a building working 50% faster can easily be misinterpreted as working in half the time, which is incorrect because math is just that weird. Mangonels and onagers have their name swapped for historical accuracy. Technically, traction trebuchets, mangonels, have been invented before torsion trebuchets, onagers. But mangonels are a specific model of traction trebuchet that was invented after the onager. All right. I'll believe you. I've never done my homework on this, but I'm on board. I'm on board. Mangoes or onagers now, and onagers are mangoes. I can get with it. All right. We're going to go into the civilization-specific breakdowns. I am going to grab another cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Mangonel and onager are the same thing in my brain. I call them Chuck, says York. Yeah. Yep. They chuck. They throw shit. They're both types of trebuchets anyway. Oh, I didn't know that mangonels and onagers were technically considered trebuchet. I thought trebuchet had to have I thought that trebuchets had that counterweight that falls and launches the arm, whereas catapults were done with tension. So, I'm not an engineer. I am not an engineer. Okay, let's go back. Let's get into. Let's continue here. This actually is good. Is really good stuff. Okay, so we go in alphabetical order, proper. Aztecs. Although the Aztecs retained their infantry and monk focus. The counterweight trebuchet is the most powerful type of trebuchet. Yep, I thought so. Thank you. Although the Aztecs retained their infantry and monk focus, the execution of said focuses happens quite differently. The theme of quantity over quality is present, as in all three Native American civs, but is less pronounced in the Aztecs. Their carry capacity bonus is increased from +3 to +4, which is still weaker than what it was in Conquerors, but will allow them to build up an economy more easily for a potential Eagle Rush. Their creation speed bonus is now staggered over the ages. Where in vanilla their units are created 11% faster, here their units are created in 4% less time per age, resulting in a very slightly weaker bonus in Feudal Age, but that became stronger as soon as Castle Age, culminating in a 16% time reduction in Imperial Age. This might sound small, but it is nearly as strong as having the English team bonus, the Goth team bonus, and the Celt team bonus at the same time. Gaining access to plumed archers and slingers, the latter of which costing half the gold. Ooh. As well as Imperial skirmishers to combine nicely with... Oh no, I don't know this word. Oh no. Oh no. I don't know how to say this word. To combine nicely with that word, their ranged options are considerably better. It might sound like their unique tech Garland Wars has been buffed, as it now gives +5 attack instead of +4. This is mostly to help with the Obsidian Swordsman's low attack, as the Eagle Knight's attack has been reduced by 1 to compensate, and pikemen aren't going to do all that much more with +1 attack. These buff Obsidian Swordsmen are the Aztecs' main source of anti-building damage, as Aztecs, like the other American civilizations in this mod, lack good siege. Their third unique unit... Oh no! Their third unique tech can be researched at the blacksmith in Castle Age and increases the hit points of infantry, cavalry, and archers by 10%. Their Obsidian Swordsmen end up being comparable in strength to champions, although with a bit more attack and a bit less hit points, but without the considerable upgrade cost taking up less population space and created faster. You don't speak that language either. See, I don't even know how to pronounce the name of the language. Anyway, the Aztec market is also quite strong, with a market exchange rate of 20%. Okay. Full tech tree tip, the monk hit point bonus affects dervishes, or perhaps you'd like to see what happens when you give Garland Wars to chakram throwers. Huh. Bengali lose their +3 armor on monks, but that's only because I intended to do something with that bonus in a later version of the mod. Here's a clue. It has something to do with what this bonus used to be. You got me. It is, however, replaced with a much more needed early game economic boost. Hunting dogs affect Bengali shepherds and foragers as well, although for half the effect. Still, that's a 12.5% boost to work speed once the technology is researched, while the Bengali retain their mass elephant identity. Their third unique tech, Kondayat, gives them a bit of defensive infantry flair, as it reduces the attack reload time of their militia line by 33%, as long as they're within 12 tiles of a friendly farm, and is researched at the mill. I promise there's a very good reason for that. That's interesting. It just like kind of puts you in a position where it's like, okay, I have militia, but these are my defensive militia. Or if they need to be like defensive militia lines, they get better when defending the homeland. I like it. It's cool flavor. It's like almost like they get a boost when they're like within a farm of like it. I don't know. The flavor's cool. The flavor is cool. I'll give it a yes.
Yes.
Nobody expects the Bengali farm rush. Oh, I didn't even think of that. And I noticed, did you do this? Because I was playing a game on the mod and I wanted to steal the AI's farm with my Vil, but I couldn't. Did you do that where we can't steal farms? Because the Vil was off the farm, and I tried to click my Vil to steal the farms because I'm trying to end the game as fast as possible, and I'm an asshole. No, I don't think I've altered that. Okay, maybe I was just wrong or something because I was trying to steal the farm and it wouldn't let me. So anyway, was just curious. So that's good to know that you haven't changed that. Berbers. While the main idea of the Berbers remain present, they do get a few tweaks that reinforce their cavalry and camel identity. Their discount at the stable extends into the feudal age. Ooh. Yeah, see, I used to be a Berbers player, and this is the kind of stuff I'm into. Starting at 10%, granting them a higher potential for Scout Rush or a Camel Scout Rush. Their villagers, which were recently nerfed for seemingly no reason at all, have been reversed to their former state of moving 10% faster from the beginning.
Yes, 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 yes.
Let's go. Giving Berbers back what everybody knows they should have had. At least, I can't speak for everyone, but I think that is a yes. I don't care that it makes them very strong on nomad maps or whatnot. Several Berber subgroups are nomads anyway. Something that a vanilla Berber connoisseur might notice is that they no longer have access to genitars. The reason for that being that if there's any civilization that should not have genitars, it's the Berbers. So the Berber team bonus has been modified so that their camel units move 7% faster. Speaking of which, their new unique unit, since camel archers are regional, is the Tuareg, which is essentially a camel riding version of the light cavalry line, having decent pierce armor and bonus damage against monks as well, of course. As well as, of course, against mounted archers. The third Berber unique technology is Trans-Saharan Control. It can be researched at the market and allows them to build stables in half the time and for half the resource cost, as well as granting plus 40 hit points to trade carts for the whole team. It was unintentional, but I suppose it keeps the Berbers' identity as a reliable team civilization. Wait, so don't Berbers already get cheaper stables? Or am I thinking of... Oh, I'm thinking of the Cumans, never mind. That is awesome. That's cool. Yeah, solid. I love it. Bohemians. The Bohemians very much retain their gunpowder identity. They also gain access to heavy crossbowmen for a non-gunpowder option. Their third unique technology, Terrasnes, can be researched at the university in Imperial Age, only if chemistry is researched, and increases the accuracy of their gunpowder units by 15%, as well as their projectile speed by 0.5, like Arquebus. Do Bohemians get slingers? If you're still here, They don't. Damn, that would be so cool because they get those stone upgrades free. And that would just be so cool to just like see your slingers get stronger for free. Yeah, dang it. That would be so cool if Bohemians got slingers. Oh well. What is quite curious? That's why full tech tree has bonuses. Okay. What is curious? What happened? The farm thing I mentioned, you found it curious. It might have just been a bug or something, or maybe the Vil wasn't really dead, and I thought he was, and like maybe the AI has like a way of preventing farm stealing from happening. Like I don't know. I'll have to test it again. Let's forget about it. Bulgars. Oh, yeah. We could have left the name Bulgarians since it was the Bulgarian Empire. Bulgars is the name of the nomadic tribe that mingled with the Slavs and founded the Bulgarian Empire. Bulgars. Speaking of nomadic tribe, and from the steppes at that, it's only natural that the Bulgars would have access to steppe lancers, which of course are affected by stirrups. Ooh! Notable, the Bulgarian army never really adopted crossbows. So, while in the vanilla game it means that they don't really use foot archers, here they can use them all the way to elite archers, only missing the crossbowman line. While the Bulgars don't have access to camels, they can still fight cavalry with cavalry thanks to their third unique technology, Arcani, which allows their light cavalry to deal 4+4 damage to other cavalry units, enabling Bulgar hussars to even beat paladins when equal resources are spent on both sides. It can be researched at the blacksmith in Imperial Age. Bulgarians are like, they're just a weak civ, and have been for a while. I think this might make them like actually good, like fairly good, to like be able to go into like hussar and really do some damage. Changed it since Arcani now affects not hussars but stamp lancers. Bulgarians aren't weak in my opinion, says Lord York, but just have some bad matchups. I mean, I used to play Bulgarians a little bit, and it's just, I don't know. I just feel like there's just a hole there. But yes, stirrups is probably one of the best unique techs in the game. So if you can get to stirrups, then they flip. Then they're strong. But I feel like they're just like a late game civ because like their other bonuses are like siege upgrades don't cost gold, I think. So that's kind of cool. Like yeah. Also, Bagains gives +2 armor to dismounted conics. The hole is crossbow. Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. Also, Bagains gives +2 armor to dismounted conics. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I just feel like, yeah, Bulgarians are like a late civ. But let's not get too off. Let's stick to what we have here. So let's stick to the reading material. But yeah, steppe lancers to Bulgarians, nice, love it, love it, love it, and they get more damage where they can really swing. Love it. Stirrups is good. Burgundians. The Burgundians retain the old value of their economic bonus of a 50% food discount. In fact, this benefits them even more in the mod thanks to the introduction of hunting dogs, which is, of course, affected. Custiers are back to the charge attack they had on launch, minus the odd double damage to archers. They do gain a significant weakness to cavalry archers, however, from which they take extra damage. While the cost of Flemish Revolution takes the recent patch into account, their Flemish militia are as strong and as expensive as they were on release. Okay. Burgundians also gain access to organ guns, which also benefit from the gunpowder attack bonus. It could be argued that they gain a gunpowder identity, as their third unique technology, breach cannons, increases the attack of their gunpowder units against stone buildings by 10. Against stone buildings? So that's like stone walls and castles and towers? Okay. It can be researched at the Siege Workshop once chemistry is researched. Breach cannons. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that seems fair, right? Are as strong and as expensive as they were on release. From my understanding, Flemish Revolution got nerfed hard, so this kind of gives it back to them, is what I'm understanding here. Okay, moving on to Burmese. As a nod to the Burmese reliance on European weaponry, particularly Portuguese, toward the end of the Middle Ages and early Renaissance, the Burmese gain access to non-elite organ guns. Combined with their sturdy elephant cannoneers, it provides them with some diverse gunpowder options. Although their focus remains on elephants, infantry, and monks, their unique unit, the Bloodsworn, Oh, the Bloodsworn? That sounds like a monster at a D&D, yo. The Bloodsworn has appeared. That's cool. The Bloodsworn is an Arambi in all but name. An Arambi is actually the name of the weapon, and the Burmese royal guard would swear blood oaths. I did a bit of tinkering, however. Arambis now get affected by the same upgrades as regular cavalry archers, but their base attack has been lowered by 3. Okay. That's not to say that the Burmese don't get a new unique unit, however, because they do. At the monastery, they have access to elephant missionaries, which are exactly what you think they are. Let me see if I can. I think I remember where this button is. Oh, dude! This doesn't have much of a historical basis. I just really wanted to add that because it's really cool. Unlike Spanish missionaries, elephant missionaries do cost more than regular monks, but the added bulk more than makes up for it, and they become really hard counters to knights and other high-value units. Adding to the Burmese already strong halberdiers is their third unique technology, Amudan regiments, which decreases the training time of trash units by 30%, adding a bit of rapid response defense potential. Cool. Okay. Training time of all trash units? Third unique technology. I'd have to look at how expensive that is, because that sounds like it could really win some games by being able to just trash spam. I'm here for it. Byzantines. Firstly, the fire spewed by Dromans and Mangonels is purely cosmetic. All trash units. It's not even expensive. Ooh, that sounds fire then. That sounds really good. Oh, man. Yeah, that makes me want to give the Burmese a go. Just to try to get to that unique tech and just spam trash. Ooh. Okay, going back to Byzantines. Firstly, the fire spewed by Dromans and Mangonels is purely cosmetic. I know it's disappointing, but come on, it looks awesome. Their civilization bonuses remain largely the same, although you might notice that their tributes are free, like what the tech banking does, except banking isn't in the mod, making them quite strong for slinging. Cataphracts, now being a common part of the tech tree, replace their nightline, while other civilizations with cataphracts have access to bloodlines and blast furnace. Logistica helps Byzantine cataphracts remain the best cavalry option to counter infantry units. The new Byzantine unique unit is the Sheriosiphoner. Chariosiphiner. Chariosiphiner. A foot unit armed with nothing less than a flamethrower. Yes, this is historically accurate. They are quite strong against infantry and somewhat decent against cavalry, provided you have something in front, as they don't have a lot of hit points. They also help clear buildings, although should not be your first choice when assailing castles and definitely die to archers. They are affected by Greek fire. Byzantines also have access to the Springled Tower, which, like the Bombard Tower, gains extra blast radius from Greek fire, making it an excellent option against large groups of units. The third Byzantine unique tech is Polybolos, researched in Imperial Age at the Siege Workshop, which reduces the attack reload time of Scorpions and Springled Towers by 30%. Byzantines now have towers that, well, can have towers that, like, shoot faster. And they already have more hit points on their towers. Jeez, yeah. Dang. I guess it's not a huge leg up to the Byzantines, but I guess they needed something. Yeah, you wouldn't want to give the Byzantines too much, because they're already really good. Celts. As they have been through the game's history, Celts remain largely unchanged. One thing you might notice is that they gain access to bloodlines and lose access to paladins, making their cavalry less expensive to make work. I like it, although it remains quite substandard. An interesting change is that they gain access to crossbowmen in Feudal rather than Castle Age, although they will take longer to train in Feudal Age as they would otherwise be way too powerful. The Celts also gain access to the new regional throwing axemen at the barracks. Nice! So they have some ranged options. Throwing axemen at the barracks is such a cool addition. Like, oh, siege is coming? Let me just click my barracks and make throwing axemen to deal with that. So cool. Their unique unit has been renamed to Kern, an Irish infantry unit, which is less anachronistic than the Woad Raider, but the unit is otherwise unchanged. The Celts' third unique tech is Shiltrin, which is available at the barracks in Castle Age. It increases the melee armor of spear units by 3. Full tech tree tip. Shiltron affects all spear infantry, not just the spearman line. Is this enough for Celts? I think it is. Getting bloodlines. Throwing axemen from the barracks. And then plus 3 melee armor to the unique tech that gives... Yeah, I guess, yeah, that's enough. Why not? Why not? The Chinese have seen quite a few changes, vastly expanding their toolbox, especially in terms of ranged units. The only change to their civilization bonus age. Ooh. Their Chukunu are... The Chinese also gain access to cataphracts. While cataphracts are traditionally an anti-infantry specialist, access to bloodlines and blast furnace instead of logistica makes them more like high HP generalists. Though they remain quite strong against infantry, other units that used to be unique, but that the Chinese now have access to, is War Wagon. Chinese War Wagons cannot be upgraded to elite. Well, that's a big deal. But they are affected by rocketry, making them slightly more glass cannon. They also gain access to flamethrowers and fire lancers. Geez, Chinese have a lot going for them. Their walls are made considerably weaker as they lose access to fortified walls, and their unique technology Great Wall has been changed to reduce the cost of walls and gates by 70% instead of increasing their hit points. I guess that's a fair trade-off. This technology, however, affects the entire team. Their new unique unit trainable at the castle is the Nest of Bees. The Nest of Bees does not have an elite upgrade and can only be built once chemistry is research. Nest of Bees? Huh. This gunpowder siege weapon fires an impressive volley of area-damaging rockets that is excellent at clearing masses of archers, especially as the battle scales up and you get more nest of bees. Rockets? Oh, because yeah, Chinese and like gunpowder and like, oh, I guess they probably did have rockets back then, huh? Oh my god. Chinese walls have been reworked. They no longer get fortified walls, and their Great Wall unique tech now decreases the entire team's wall cost by 70% and reduces the building time by 50%. They no longer get fortified walls. Huh. I mean, I guess that's good, right? Just build like layers and layers of walls. Oh. Yeah. You said it you I kind of noticed that too, but you specified down here that it reduces the building time. Yeah, just semantics. The third unique tech of the Chinese is sulfuric reaction, which is accessible at the university once chemistry is researched and increases the damage that petards do to non-siege land military units by 60. Increases the damage that petards do to non-siege land military units. I don't even know what that would look like. I mean, huh. What would be kind of cool is if it increased, like, the damage radius by petards. But I don't know. It sounds interesting nonetheless. It also makes their flamethrowers do area damage. Oh, okay. So there is something going on here with that. Okay. So the way I'm reading it sounds like it doesn't give it justice to what it's really doing. So that would be cool to see. Holy cow. I got to just stop and say the Chinese sound bonkers. Like they look so much fun to play. Like, holy cow. There aren't many changes to the humans. Something perhaps noticeable is that being able to buy villagers at the market, combined with their second town center in feudal age, allows them to boom quite early. Although they need to add gold to the equation in order to do so, of course, to buy those vills. Their Kipchaks are now trained at the archery range instead of cavalry archers. Good. Honestly, I used to play humans quite a bit, and like actually making Kipchaks like almost never happened for me. Like, it's just, I don't know why. It's just you make a castle and it's just like, oh, okay, maybe some Kipchaks, but like almost never. So like putting the Kipchaks in the archery range instead, yeah, love it. And Cuman mercenaries work differently. In a similar way to when it was originally introduced. The number of mercenary Kipchaks is limited to 10 per player, but they can be replaced by new Kipchaks if killed, meaning that each player in the team can constantly have a group of 10 free Kipchaks. I have questions. Does this literally mean that you can just like make 10 Kipchaks for free, send them to die, and then just immediately make 10 more Kipchaks for free? Do they have to go through building time? I have questions about these free Kipchaks. How is that fair? Like, that's going to be so unfair. Like, if players are like, there is a building time though. Okay, maybe that's what my brain is not like telling me, is that like, yo, there's a building time here. Okay. That should be fine. Their third unique tech, reverse horses, can be researched at the stable and allows their light cavalry and Kipchaks to regenerate 20 hit points per minute. Oh, that's sick. Ooh, yeah. Well done, honestly. Like, really trying to get those Kipchaks. Like, as part of the Cuman's identity, because honestly, it was a pain to ever, like, I almost never built them because it was just like not worth it, really, in my eyes, unless like you were already going CA or you needed a cavalry archer for something. Like, it usually wasn't happening. Dravidians. So I think that Urumi swordsmen in the vanilla game are properly evil and should get arrested for breaching the Geneva Convention. Okay. Best I could do, though, was to change them instead of the charge mechanic, which goes to the fire lances in a much more balanced way. Urumi swordsmen simply do 5 damage around them, like if they had Druzhina researched. I don't know what Druzhina is. Other than that, the Dravidians aren't changed all that much. Their infantry is still very good. Their cavalry still sucks. Their archers are still very acceptable, and their siege is still discounted. Their third unique technology, Bondakula, can be researched at the siege workshop once chemistry is researched, and allows their hand cannoneers to deal blast damage in a 0.5 tile radius. Whew. Hopefully this will make their strategies a bit more varied. All right. English, they may differ from the Britons in name, but the core concepts of the civilization are the same. The range bonus of the English has been reworked. Instead of gaining 1 range as soon as they hit Castle Age and Imperial Age, the range bonus applies once Fletching and Bracer, not Bodkin, are researched, giving them an edge in feudal combat. English villagers, like in Age of Empires 4, defend themselves with bows, which can seem extremely powerful for villager rushes, but it should be remembered that Loom grants +2 pierce armor to villagers, so once Loom is researched for both players, any other villager will beat an English villager in combat. Unless you micro them. So once Loom is researched for both players, any other villager will beat an English villager in combat. Oh, I already read that. These bows do instead come with the advantages of ranged units, making them better for focus firing and defending against infantry. English castles no longer train longbowmen. Instead, longbowmen are a direct upgrade to the archers. The English also gain access to organ guns, although not the elite upgrade, and Crusader Knights, which, while substandard, can definitely help their longbowmen to tank hits. The third English unique tech is Privateers, which grants +6 attack against buildings to the galley line. What is the range on a villager bow? Is it like 3 range or something? Like the base range of a villager bow? Three or 4? Sounds about okay. So yeah, that shouldn't be too big of a deal, I don't imagine. But if somebody's a micro god, then maybe. The Ethiopians underwent few changes themselves, but the general balance changes affected them greatly. Their faster attacking archer bonus now applies to all foot archers, including skirmishers and crossbowmen. With the primary archer line already attacking faster and their access to thumb ring, Ethiopian archers can become absolutely fearsome units in large numbers. The Juba tribe uses weapons very similar to chakrams, even called chakrani. The Juba tribe has nothing to do with Ethiopia, but chakram throwers are way too cool not to use in every possible occasion. Agreed. And Ethiopians are the closest civilization geographically. So Ethiopians gain access to chakram throwers. The third Ethiopian unique tech, Tenkwa, increases the movement speed of both their trade cogs and canoes by 10%, and allows their canoes to deal +5 damage to fishing ships, making them ideal raiders on water maps. Okay. Yep. Pretty cool. A little bit of a water identity given to Ethiopians. That's nice. The Franks have access to the same civ bonuses as usual, but the possible number of strategies they can perform is increased by their new unit choices. While they can absolutely go for paladins in the exact same way as in the vanilla game, they gain a number of new ranged options. For one, the throwing axemen are easier to mass. Thanks to being trained at the barracks, they gain access to Crusader Knights. Although they're not quite as strong as the fabled Frank Paladins, they require less investment and are still very strong. The Franks also gain 2 new unique units, one of them being the Arbalester, a version of crossbowmen that fires even slower but deals very heavy damage, up to 14 once all upgrades are researched. They are quite expensive, but their main advantage lies in the low numbers required to reach a critical mass that can one-shot heavy cavalry units. Is the Arbalester like a different unit in this mod where it's not like crossbowmen don't upgrade to Arbalester? Is there a difference here? It seems like it's a different unit trained to the castle. Okay, yeah, I figured there was something different going on here, so that's good. The second new unique unit of the Franks is the Culverin, a type of cannon that requires chemistry to be built and is more focused toward taking out units thanks to a higher projectile speed, especially siege. They are still decent against buildings, but the Franks still have access to bombard cannons that do that job better. The Franks' third unique tech is Foostable, which can be researched at the archery range in Imperial Age and grants slingers an extra +8 attack to stone buildings, allowing them to easily handle towers and even help out with castles in sufficient numbers. Full tech tree tip. Feudal scout rushes with 74 hit point scouts are very strong. But the question is, would you end the game before you've had time to make those extra chunky eles? Who knows? Couldn't it be me? And I don't have much to say about the Goths. They remain stronger in the late game than in the early game, although they do have a few changes. Firstly, their population space bonus occurs in Feudal Age, granting them an immediate +10 population space upon reaching it, and a buffer for them to rush. The Goths also gain cataphracts, which is a nice alternative to a fairly unremarkable Nightline. The third Goth unique tech is Arianism, which can be researched at the monastery and castle age to grant monks +6 pierce armor. Whoa. Those are some tanky monks. Gujaras. Unreleased, the Gujaras were such a hated civilization that they have been nerfed into irrelevance. Officially because they were too strong, but most likely because ranked players hate a civ that deviates from their beloved crossbow knight meta. This mod gives Gujaras some of their tools back. Interestingly enough, now that camel scouts and chakram throwers are part of the common tech tree, Shravamsha riders are the Gujaras' only unique unit, which presented a perfect opportunity. Make the Shravamsha rider as strong as they were on release, but put them at the castle instead of the stable, making them harder to access. So I did just that. Their bonus damage increase, while not as strong as it was on release, has still been increased by 10 each age. Alas, I could not figure out how to give them their old herdable bonus. The Gajara's third unique technology is very strong but requires some context. Sharam throwers in this mod are like they were on release. They had a higher attack, but their pass-through damage was halved, instead of being its full damage like it is today. They also did not have bonus damage against infantry. Tajani, researched at the blacksmith in Imperial Age for a fairly steep price, restores this full pass-through damage. Good thing the Gujaras don't have access to Blast Furnace, or you'd finally have a good reason to hate them. And as for Hindustanis, I expected rebalancing these guys to be a nightmare given that I know very little of the main Mughal Empire. But a quick research made that pretty easy. Firstly, it felt important to restore their old, more powerful villager discount. Naturally, the Imperial Camel Rider can no longer be considered their unique unit, as it is now part of the common tech tree, but Camel Riders are still an asset for the Hindustanis because of the attack speed bonus, which also affects their Camel Archers. But their lack of the elite upgrade and Parthian tactics doesn't make them an optimal choice in all range situations. The Hindustanis are also granted access to organ guns, although not the elite versions, as Akbar, the third Mughal emperor, had a Persian polymath develop an early version of a volley gun. These organ guns are affected by the gunpowder armor bonus, as well as the third Hindustani unique tech Bands, which grants each of their projectiles plus 4 damage against elephant units. Admittedly, Bands are at the extremity of Age of Empires 2 timeline, dating back to the 16th century. But then so do conquistadors. Truth. All right. It's no secret that the Huns shouldn't have access to paladins, historically speaking. That is why they get Step Lancers in this version. In fact, they can upgrade them to Elite Step Lancers without spending gold on the upgrade. Nice. They also gain access to Camel Riders, though not upgradable in Imperial Age. Their hunters do not require a drop site, too. Hell yeah. The Huns are also one of the few civilizations to have access to Cavalry Archer in Feudal Age, where their discount even applies. The Huns are the only civilization to lack access to trebuchets. They instead rely on onagers, which, through their third unique tech, Traction Trebuchet, which can be researched at the Siege Workshop once Siege Engineers is researched, grants onagers plus 4 range, plus 60 damage against large buildings, and extra projectile speed. This might sound overpowered, but actually turned out to be pretty okay, giving their onagers some barbed cannon properties. Remember that the name onagers and mangonels have been swapped. On the negative side, the Huns lose access to squires, as they were reported to spend so much time riding horses that they walked clumsily. Overall, the Huns are strengthened in their nomadic raider identity. Not having trebuchet can it's a fair trade-off, because I played some games with Huns and it was like there was moments when I was like, I really wish I had trebuchet. Like the onager, the mangonels, even with like their extra firing range, which is not really the same thing, but very, very fun. Very fun. Okay, so the way the Incas have been reworked with one of the recent patches, gaining their food discount and an extra +1 attack for slingers with Andean Sling was absolutely not planned for. Originally, I had decided to make Andean Sling deal bonus damage to cavalry, as Spanish conquistadors reported that Inca slings could, quote, kill a horse. I'll keep that in mind for later. In the meantime, Incas have lost the spearman line entirely. What? Incas have lost the spearman line entirely? Let's see what else we have here. Instead of being able to train Kameuks at the barracks in Castle Age. Instead being able to train Kameuks. Kameuk? Isn't that a unique unit? Just a second here. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's not a downgrade. Yeah, that's even better. Awesome. Yep, no problem. That's actually a boost. They still have a second trash unit, however, in the form of their swordsman line, whose gold cost has been replaced by wood. What? This looks fun! Like, your spear line is now costs some gold, but your swordsman line is replaced by wood.
This will make the unit considerably easier to mass as the game progresses. Of course, they're not getting trash champions, as their swordsman line stops at the Obsidian Swordsman with different advantages. Still, I mean, okay, I see the balance there. Dang, that sounds like pretty wild. The Inca's spin on the Plumed Scout is the Condor Warrior, which has familiar stats but moves 10% faster. A homage to the removed tech couriers that was in the game before Andean Sling took its place. To make up for their lack of good siege, the Inca's already stronger villagers are affected 66% more by sappers. Chief says the Incas and Huns were definitely my favorite civs to mod. I can see this. Like, this looks fun. Sappers? Sappers is so underrated, I'm telling you. Like, maybe I'm trolling a little bit, but like, Sappers is good. So to make Sappers even better, nobody expects it. Like, who needs the revolution tech or whatever? Just sappers, and 66% more by sappers. Let's go. The third Inca unique tech is Mita, which can only be researched in Imperial Age and if Obsidian Swordsman is researched, and allows you to train Kamukes and Obsidian Swordsman in pairs. Huh. The training takes a bit longer, but you will dramatically gain time if you're training a large army. Not to mention that it takes less room in the building's queue. Unfortunately, due to the way the game works, units trained in batches can't make use of rally points, and that is not something that can be changed. Fair enough. While the Japanese remain identical in Dark Age and Feudal Age, aside, of course, for the general balance changes, it is in Castle Age that they diversify. They do gain access to generic but still viable war wagons, including the elite upgrade, but also gain access to 2 additional unique units, all trained at the castle. Ninjas can be trained in Castle Age and can swap between a melee mode that deals extra damage to villagers and a faster moving ranged mode, firing multiple projectiles that deal extra damage to infantry.
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, 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 yes.
Ninjas! So they've got their short range sword and shuriken throwing ranged mode. I love it! Multiple projectiles deal extra damage to infantry, okay? The third Japanese unique tech, Shimabara Rebellion. Shimabara Rebellion can only be researched at the castle once the Elite Samurai upgrade is researched, and turns all Elite Samurai present on the map into Ronins. Once researched, the Japanese may still choose to train either Elite Samurais or Ronins. Ronins are an infantry unit specialized in taking out large buildings. Their stats aren't quite as high as champions, making them worse in melee fights, although they do cost less gold. Khmer, for the record, I came up with ballistics scorpions long before Return of Rome happened, so I don't care. Those belong to the Khmer. There, now that is out of the way, let's take a look at the Khmer's other features. They gain access to elephant archers, elephant cannoneers, and armored elephants. Elephants. The speed bonus also affects all elephant units, not just battle elephants. This is especially beneficial for armored elephants as it reduces one of their big weaknesses, which is their low speed. In fact, another large weakness of armored elephants is helped, as they are affected by tusk swords. By no means does that make them good against melee units, but at least they can fight, and their extreme resistance to arrows make them able to fight archers to an extent. The Khmer also have a 15% discount on slaves, which is quite powerful to boost their economy and make sure that they can get to Castle Age in time to start training those sweet elephants. They also gain access to a second unique unit, the Ox Wagon. The Ox Wagon is available at the market in Feudal Age and acts as a mobile drop-off point for miners and lumberjacks.
for only 50 wood. A good use of that is to allow you to save some wood on mills should you choose to head out to hunt. Or just hitting up some faraway wood lines, keeping your villas safe at a corner wood line, you know? The ox wagon, just don't worry about it. I got you, boy. However, even in the late game, when you have more wood than you could possibly need, ox wagons still have a use. As the Khmer's third unique tech, supply wagons, which is available at the market and Castle Age for 600 feud, allows ox wagons to heal non-siege land military units around them in a 5-tile radius, further boosting the tankiness of your elephants. Woo! Okay. I like it. I do like it. It kind of fits with the Khmer's, like, farmers don't have to drop off. You know what I mean? So you can just, like, farm wherever you want. But now you can just kind of, like, go out and collect, hunt, or any other resource, and just have an ox wagon with you. I like reasons for building markets, so I definitely like these additions to, like, oh, you can do this from a market, or you can do that from a market. It just gives the market more of a reason to exist rather than just trading resources. Koreans, while the Chinese have arguably better war wagons, the Koreans can undoubtedly tech into them more easily, thanks to the wood discount, as well as a handy 60% gold discount on their Siege Workshop technologies. Okay, cool. Kind of sounds like a little bit like Bulgar's. The wood discount was buffed in a recent official patch, but I elected to ignore that buff, as it would have made Korean archer rushes far too strong, given that in this mod, the archer line has a resource cost much more inclined towards wood than gold. Okay, so we're ignoring that buff. The Koreans also gain access to hachefs, their new castle unique unit, which is a gunpowder siege weapon. On the surface, it looks like it's comparable to hachefs, but has little to do with it, being more mobile than other siege weapons and firing multiple arrows in a tight spread, excellent at taking out infantry, and, behind the safety of walls, wiping out even heavy cavalry. All right, now we're talking. It's not quite as strong against archers given its low pierce armor and hit points. It should be noted that while hachefs are siege weapons, each of their arrows is affected by archer attack upgrades. Oh, typo mistake. I mean, it sounds comparable to Nest of Bees. Oh, okay, I can see that. Okay. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, right there. It's comparable to Nest of Bees. All right. Affected by archer attack upgrades. The third Korean unique unit is the returning Panoxion, which increases the movement speed of turtle ships. Poggers. Yeah. Turtle ships, that's exactly what they would need. Lithuanians. Fun fact, I never really liked the Lithuanians gameplay because a simple focus on brute force heavy cavalry has been in the game since the very beginning with the Franks, and as much as I'd like to diversify them, their heavy cavalry focus will remain. However, their relic bonus now affects all cavalry units, allowing their hussars to do +2 damage, which can be quite powerful for a unit whose low attack is one of its weaknesses.
Yes.
Hussars do +2 relic damage for the Lithuanians. Let's go. Their third unique technology, Alkas, can be researched at the monastery and castle and allows their foot archers, including skirmishers, to deal +5 damage to religious units. Kind of boring, I'll be honest, that one, but it's something, you know? It just kind of shows that, like, they are, it kind of just shows to their religious identity, because it's like, we have the relics, we get bonuses, our archers and skirms do more damage to your religious units. So I can get behind it, and it kind of makes it cool because those one cavalries, what were they called again? The Crusader Knights? They're technically a religious unit. So, like, foot archers deal +5 damage to Crusader Knights. That could be definitely a thing. For sure. Okay. The Lombards. Damn, you're right. I should make them that. Oh, are Crusader Knights not religious units? Because they are made from a monastery. Because otherwise, that +5 to religious units just feels kind of lackluster. But in that case, it's just kind of like, okay, there's some civs that are going to be using. I mean, the way it kind of looks like it's leaning for some earlier civs is that, like, Crusader Knights are going to be a very good option. I hadn't thought of it, but it would make sense. They're normally made at the castle, but okay, yeah, that was just, I thought that was what you were going for there, which take it as you will. The Lombards, known in vanilla as Italians, retain their themes of using and countering gunpowder. The discount they have on dock and university tech applies to revetments, Trojan tactics, and invasion. Italians have access to discounted organ guns, which, while they don't have the elite upgrade, can still provide good value on the battlefield. Their condottieri are now available at the market. Okay, that sounds awesome. As I felt it was more suitable for mercenaries than the barracks, and can be strong in more situations due to the increased number of gunpowder units. All right, I'm on board for it. Due to the way hand cannoneers work in the mod, in order to remain a counter to them, condottieri resist the effect that cause armor to be ignored, letting them be stronger against Lachey as well. Speaking of the Lombard market, it is one of their greatest assets, as in addition to the Silk Road unique tech that helps them in team games, with the resource cost and research time of which I have decided to reduce slightly, and I made it affect the whole team, they also have a resource exchange rate of only 10%, which is very efficient. Genoese crossbowmen are trained at the archery range as a replacement for crossbowmen, making their castles less crucial. Nice! Shit, are you serious? Like, oh my gosh, Genoese crossbowmen are already so good. Like, Lombards sound they could be a top 5. Like, they might be. Let me finish reading this. However, these castles can still provide a strong defense with their third unique tech, Star Forts, which can be researched at the castle in Imperial Age, allowing them to take 60% less damage from cannon units. Dang! Full tech tree tip. The Lombards are the only civilization whose team bonus still works in full tech tree mode. Yeah, they kind of sound like a top 5 to me. Like, this sounds just really good. Like, I already felt like Italians were really strong already, but, like, where's the weakness here? I don't see one. And, like, their third unique tech isn't amazing, but it's still something that's very applicable of, like, okay, we're in the late game. My castles are taking less damage from your cannons. Like, that's basically gun. I mean, I guess that doesn't include trebuchets, so. Anyway, they still seem really good. I'd say the Lombards might be like a top 5. Just really well-rounded, just punch you in the face civ. Magyars, so you mean to tell me that the Corvinian army, one of the first armies in Europe to use gunpowder, doesn't have hand cannoneers? I'm sorry, but historical accuracy be historical accuracy, and I need to change that. So Magyars get hand cannoneers. And more than that, their unique technology, Corvinian army, affects hand cannoneers instead of Magyar hussars. It doesn't turn them into trash unit, it reduces their gold cost by 20. Fair? And that is because Magyar hussars get reworked. They get a lot of very strong buffs, but also have reduced stats. They replace the standard hussar upgrade, which, for the Magyars, is available in Castle Age. They may still be upgraded to elite in Imperial Age. They also gain 1 range, similar to Steppe Lancers. Sick! Yes!
No, yes.
Dude, Magyar Hussars are like getting that range, like, just like a Steppe Lancer. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Okay. I like that. No, because, yeah, they've got that, they got that big old stick. It's like, come on. Flavorful. Flavor matters. It matters. This is a very, very strong unit to have in Castle Age, even with reduced stats, but the Hussar upgrade is quite expensive in Castle Age. Hacheef says, the thing about Magyar Hussars is out of date. They still get that extra range, but are their own unit line. They replace Steppe Lancers rather than the light cavalry line, and still get turned into trash units by the Corvinian army. Okay. But are their own unit line. They replace the Steppe Lancers. Okay. Yeah, I can get on board with that. Sure. For sure. Yeah, I'm down. I'm here for it. This is a very, very strong unit to have in Castle Age, even with reduced stats, but the Hussar upgrade is quite expensive in Castle Age to further enhance their strong scout rush. Magyars also get the hunting dogs tech for free, as they did back when the tech was first introduced in the ancient times of a decade ago. Their bonus damage against wolves has been removed, however, and this is utility they frankly don't need. The third Magyar unique tech, Professional Soldiers, can be researched at the barracks in Castle Age once supplies is researched, and remove the 45 food cost, but increases the gold cost by 25. Essentially being the opposite of the Malays' forced levy, it might seem strange to increase the gold cost of the unit, but the Magyars have an excellent trash option with their Magyar Hussars, and their hand cannoneers also have a reduced gold cost, so champions would complement them nicely if you have a surplus of gold. Oh, you did the Magyars right, I think. I like it. I do like it a lot. Yeah, I'm here for it. I want to play the Magyars. I don't think that they don't feel like a top 5, but maybe not. But I like it. Malay, I really wanted to make a StarCraft reference by underlining the Karambit Warriors' similarity to Zerglings and give them a unique tech that would be similar to Metabolic Boost or Adrenal Glands, but I quickly figured that this would be a terrible idea. The Malay have all aspects of their identities reinforced. Their water economy is improved. As their fish traps are no longer discounted, they provide infinite food like they used to. Their infantry options are expanded with the addition of chakram throwers. Although they don't have access to the elite upgrade, they gain access to elephant archers, which benefit from the large discount. Again, not the elite upgrade, that would be quite overpowered, and their navy is made stronger by their third unique technology, Outriggers, which increases the hit points of warships by 20, and the garrison capacity of their transport ships by 10. It can be researched at the dock in Castle Age, although it's quite an expensive investment. Malay with elephant archers. That increase of the hit points of all warships by 20, that actually sounds like it could be a huge deal. Like, I don't know who's beating them on water. If both players are massing and that tech comes in, I don't know how they're losing on water at that point. That's pretty good. Despite lacking Bracer, Malians gain a few reasons to build archery ranges. In addition to their... Hacheef says Portuguese might beat them on water. That sounds like a good matchup, then. That we'd want to... That would be fun to try. Malay and Portuguese. Malay v Portuguese. Malians gain a few reasons to build archery ranges despite lacking Bracer, in addition to their infantry focus, thanks to gaining access to Imperial Skirmishers, a new bonus that allows their crossbowmen to move 10% faster and have +2 line of sight. And their third unique technology, Farbus, which lets their barracks and archery ranges work in 20% less time. It's important to note that this bonus is applied... Oh, God. multiplicatively with conscription. I don't even know what that word is. I think I know what it means. With conscription, which is a time reduction of 25%, and therefore the total time reduction once both technologies are researched is of 40% and not 45%. The extra pierce armor for barracks units is also applied to market units so that condottieri may benefit from it, but it also has the effect of making Malian trade carts harder to raid by ranged units. Malians also gain a training time reduction for Slavs at the market, a reference to the high number of slaves that Mansa Musa owned. This, combined with their gold bonus, gives them the potential for a formidable economy in the mid-game. Lacking Bracer. Gaining Imperial Skirm. Crossbowmen move faster. More line of sight. A lot of these little, they may seem like small bonuses, but they're kind of a big deal. Crossbowmen moving slightly faster and having more line of sight is kind of a big deal. And then barracks and archery rangers working in 20% less time. Like, yeah, these Malians will fight you in the early game. Like, they seem like as good as any. The extra pierce armor for barracks units is also applied to market units so that condottieri may benefit from it. Okay. Yeah. I could see that. I mean, but that's just crossbowmen, so. It's not a massive improvement, but it's a good improvement. The Mayans' core gameplay looks like it is the same, but they actually get some strong alterations. First, it should be noted that with plumed archers being a regional upgrade to archers, they're not nearly as strong as they are in the vanilla game. Their damage potential and movement speed are similar, but they don't have as much health. I have done what I can to mitigate their farming inefficiency, but properly testing it would require precise measurement, and I'd much rather spend time making cool stuff rather than bicker over this very minor detail that only ranked players care about. The Mayan team bonus has been changed, now granting their walls and towers plus 10% hit points. Their skirmishers and slingers benefit from the foot archer discount. Oh, okay. The Mayans' new unique units are the Hulkan, an anti-building infantry unit that can be trained at the castle. Hulkans deal high damage to buildings, but also have a small anti-cavalry bonus, making them quite viable against light cavalry. However, heavy cavalry is probably not a fight they'd be looking for, as they have no base melee armor. They do make a good replacement for the Mayans' lackluster obsidian swordsmen. Yeah, because those obsidian swordsmen do have a limit there, as good as they are in the earlier phases of the game. The second Mayan unique unit is their own spin on the plumed scout, the Yucatec Scout. The Yucatec Scout does not have an elite upgrade, but his stats are higher than non-elite Eagle Knights. Eagle Knights? Is that a thing? But his stats are higher than non-elite Eagle Knights and Condor Warriors. And perhaps more importantly, he does not have the Eagle Warrior armor class, thus taking no bonus damage from the swordsman line. The Eldorado unique tech will grant him an extra 50 hit points, taking him to 100. Sheesh. The Mayans' third unique tech is Obsidian Arrows. Ooh, Obsidian Arrows is back, which returns from the limbs to grant all Mayan foot archers plus 6 attack against walls. Oh, man. I don't want to play against the Mayans. Oh, no. Oh, they look strong. They look really strong now. Ooh. I mean, walls and towers, a little more hit points. That's not a huge deal. Skirmishers and slingers benefit from the foot archer discount. That's a pretty big deal. Yeah, Mayans look scary. I ain't even gonna lie. Mayans look scary. I am going to take a quick break. Be right back. Hacheef says, I omitted to mention that they get Imperial skirmishes too. Talking about the Mayans. Yeah. Honestly, I should learn how to play this Civ because they seem like the real deal. Like, I like the idea of the Obsidian Swordsman. And then plumed archers. Yeah, and I mean the plumed archers are like just a regional unit now, so like they don't have like that like just like as a unique unit going for them anymore, but they still have it, which is still great. But yeah. They seem like solid. They seem absolutely solid. I should learn how to play this Civ, really. Because if I could play this right, like, I could just be a Mayan beast. The nomadic Mongols gain some similarities to the Huns. Like the Huns, they cannot build houses, although the bonus is handled differently. Their starting wood is cut by 50 instead of 100, and they do need to build extra town centers to increase their maximum population, as their town centers grant 75 population space. Their town centers are all there's town their town centers can also be packed and unpacked to be relocated, which gives them access to a new kind of douche strategy. And I'm not ashamed of this in the slightest. As you shouldn't be, because honestly, douching is a bad strategy. Like, there's been some videos out on it, but yeah, it's ultimately a bad strategy. If you handle the douching properly, they are basically just like, yeah, it's honestly just a bad choice that's hoping that your opponent makes the mistakes. And if the opponent makes the mistakes, they can lose because of it. And just universally, like when talking about competitive gaming, is a strategy that's counting on your opponent to make a mistake is not a good strategy. Moving on. Mongols also gain access to flamethrowers, camel archers, which benefit from the attack speed bonus, and fire lances, increasing their flexibility. No kidding. Cool. Their cavalry HP bonus has been swapped with the Cuman's faster movement speed for a bit of historical accuracy. That's probably more fair. I mean, because yeah, the hit point bonus was really a Mongols thing that made them just so tough to like go tit for tat with in like the early game or even like the mid to late game. Like, just so making them a little faster rather than tankier, I think that's completely fair. This certainly balances out the impressive buffs they gain, as lacking the last armor upgrade for both archers and cavalry, it prompts them to rely more on speed, striking first and avoiding unfavorable fights. And then you get the speed bonus on CA as well. That's good. The Mongols are the only civilization to have access to hunting dogs. Not to have access to hunting dogs, having their usual hunting bonus instead, of course. They can train cavalry archers in feudal age, and those even benefit from the attack speed bonus. The way their cavalry archers are handled also changes. Mangudaias now have an attack bonus against unique unit, while the anti-siege bonus is passed to their CA instead.
Yes, 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 yes.
Anti-siege CA that move faster? I'm here for it. The Nomad's unique tech increases the population space granted by town centers to 200. Huh? Removing the need to build extra ones for population space unless playing with high population limit. Okay. I guess if you don't want to like boom TCs, otherwise you have kind of no choice but to go 3 TCs. I mean, at least 2 TC into a third later. I guess not a big deal. The third Mongol unique, that would just suck if you're like in the fray and you're like, oh, let's build a castle. And you forget that you need that third town center. I mean, that's 125 population space though, so I don't know. I could just see like somebody messing that up and being like, oh, I'm not just housed, I'm town center housed. What a nightmare that would be. Oh, I guess it wouldn't be that bad. The third Mongol unique tech is Manchubo, which grants their cavalry archers, not Mangudai's nor camel archers, +2 range and a bit of an Age of Empires 1 vibe. I love this idea. Giving CA +2 range and the speed bonus and a bonus against siege. Like, this sounds so good. It's a very expensive tech. Oh, which one? Manchubo? I don't care. It's so cool. Like, I don't care that it's expensive. It just sounds so cool. Like, imagine that someone's coming at you with mangonels and BBC, and then you just like swoop around with these fast boys like CA, and they're just like taking out all the bombard cannons from like around, like doing like flank move. Like, it just sounds like so cool. I don't think the Mongols are like the strongest by any means, but they sound like they might be one of the most fun if you can like get there. So definitely like more spoiling in the fun department than the actual power department, I guess, but cool. In a mod where many civilizations gain extra bonuses, it can seem strange that the Persians still have only 2 of these. However, the town center work speed, which had deliberately been left as it usually is in vanilla and Dark Age, now follows the pattern like in other ages. And while 5% can seem insignificant, it does allow the Persians to gain a villager advantage after some time, even before Feudal Age. Yeah, I mean, it's the Persian slightly faster time, okay? Persians also gain access to cataphracts, elephant archers, and dervishes. Admittedly not the best dervishes, as well as a new unique unit in addition to the war elephant. The Clibinarius, a heavy cavalry unit that specializes in taking out archers and perhaps unusually archery ranges, dealing bonus damage to them. Gaining an anti-archer heavy cavalry unit means that their team bonus could be considered not that impactful, which is why it has been swapped for increased resistance to anti-cavalry bonus damage for the Nightline and its alternatives. That sounds like something I would forget out there. I'm just like, oh, let me make a Clibinarius, and oh yeah, these things rock at like taking out archery ranges of all things. I will not remember that, but maybe I will now. That's just so specific. It sounds interesting. Like, oh my gosh, why are my archery ranges going down so fast? Where were we? This bonus works especially well against camels. Fun fact, it was once considered as the Frank team bonus during one of the early builds of the game. I missed the point somewhere along here. Gaining an anti-archer heavy cavalry unit means their team bonus could be considered not that impactful, which is why it has been swapped for increased resistance to anti-cavalry bonus damage. Oh, so they take less anti-cavalry bonus damage for the Nightline. Okay, and its alternatives. Okay. This bonus works especially well against camels. Yeah, sure. I like it. Last thing you want happening to your cavalry is bonus damage, right? It should be noted that the Commandarin, that's the one. The Commandarin tech affects the archer line instead of the crossbow line. Commandarin is literally the Persian word for archer. Commandarin. And that trash composite archers are very good even without bracer. Mahat's affects elephant archers, completely negating the idea that elephant units are slow and that they regain access to the lost boiling oil tech, which lets their defensive buildings, including town centers, deal extra damage to rams, which is very useful against the AI because we all know how much the AI loves sneaky rams. No, I totally don't have PSD, I promise. What are you talking about? No, I swear. The AI does love to do the ram sneak. I did notice that. I mean, overall, like, yeah, sure, less bonus damage dealt against Persian heavy cavalry. I like it. They don't seem like hugely improved, but gaining access to cataphracts, elephant archers, and dervishes seems cool. The Poles might be the least changed civilization in the mod. The main changes are simply to restore all of their bonuses as they were on release, instead of this watered-down generic civilization as they currently are. While they lose access to crop rotation, that's because it is replaced by their third unique technology, Ostilung. Did I write that correctly? Did I say that correctly? Which doubles the full works instant food yield. Good. making their farms exhaust faster, but on the other hand, considerably increases their food gathering. Hacheef says I changed the name of Ostidalum name to Commonwealth, so don't worry. Okay, Commonwealth tech. Yeah, I mean, the Poles don't really need crop rotation anyway because each time they reseed a farm, they get that food bonus. So really, you don't want crop rotation anyway, I would imagine. I mean, I could see how it would be a reasonable decision to make to say, I'm not taking crop rotation because I want to reseed farms more often, actually. So, they don't really give anything up there. Possibly, but again, I haven't done the numbers on it. I don't even really play the polls. Portuguese. While organ guns are no longer a unique unit to the Portuguese, they do gain 2 additional unique units to compensate. Firstly, upon advancing to Castle Age, their slaver cavalry is automatically upgraded to Banderai bandits, which are more proficient in combat, although still less than ideal, but more importantly, gain increased resistance to anti-cavalry bonus damage. So kind of similar to the Persians, that's nice, as well as a projectile dodging ability similar to that of a Shravamsha rider, although less powerful. This allows them to keep abducting enemy villagers in the early Castle Age, while other civilization slavers are less incentivized to be active by that time. The third unique unit of the Portuguese is the cannon caravel, which can be built at a dock once chemistry is researched and easily shreds less armored ships. It could be considered an organ gun on water. That sounds fun! Unlike other civilizations, the Portuguese don't need to research chemistry before being able to build organ guns at the siege workshop. They still need that technology to upgrade them to heavy organ guns, however. That's cool. The third Portuguese unique technology, Trunians, can be researched at the siege workshop in Imperial Age. It increases the movement speed of all land gunpowder siege units by 20% and decreases their build time by 20%. Despite being a gunpowder-related technology, it has been designed to be researched without chemistry so that both techs may be researched at the same time to speed up teching into gunpowder siege units. Besides, Trunians are a mechanics breakthrough, not a chemistry one. Although, admittedly, it is a lot of resources spent at the same time. That is cool. Bombard cannons, moving 20% faster. Sounds freaking terrifying, honestly. Yeah, they're really playing the range game. Organ guns on water? This just looks like the Portuguese just seem like a highlight, but it's hard to tell how good they really will be. But definitely good on water, that's for sure. Romans, I said I came up with Ballistic Scorp. Okay, we've been through this already. So Romans lose that, but they still have a Scorpion bonus, as they can build them, as well as siege workshops, of course, in Feudal Age. So is it kind of similar to the Cumans, where they can build the siege workshop in Feudal and only Ram? For Romans, it's they can build the siege workshop in Feudal and only Scorpion? Is that what we're doing here? Okay. That's what I thought. Their unique technology, Ballista, no longer reduces the Scorpion's attack reload time, though it still does for galleys, but makes their Scorpions cost no gold. Sick. I want to Deathball Scorpions with Romans now. This sounds so good. Are you kidding me? That's my kind of tech right there. Their third unique technology, Pulum, which can be researched at the Blacksmith in Imperial Age once Bodkin Arrow is researched, allows their skirmishes to damage their target's armor, much like Obox.
Yes.
Romans sound sexy. They sound awesome. I definitely want to play with this Civ. Full text 3 tips. So if they had access to Bracer and Imperial skirmishers, Ellipsis, I don't know. Rus, I swear I didn't do it on purpose, but with good farmers, a knight upgrade that comes earlier than expected. A cavalry unique unit, and good hand cannoneers, the Rus kinda look like the Burgundians now. Wait, what? I don't so these renamed slabs, that was my question. Okay, so these renamed slabs get the Boyar upgrade in Castle Age as opposed to Imperial Age and can research it in half the time, which allows them to perform quite a strong night rush provided they put the resources into it. Yeah. Okay. As part of the Rus technology tree, there are Step Lancers, although not the elite upgrade, and the Feudal CA. Given that the Rus economy encourages farming, making cavalry archers in Feudal Age isn't an optimal move, but it is an option. The new unique unit of the Rus is the Cossack, a light cavalry unit with high pierce armor that costs a moderate amount of gold. While good against archers, it is against mounted. While good against archers, it is against mounted archers, against which it deals bonus damage. That it shines. Oh, it does extra bonus damage to mounted archers. Light cavalry unit. The Rus also gain access to hand cannoneers, to whom their third unique tech, Streltsy, that can be researched at the castle, grants +3 melee armor, making them an even better counter to infantry and even viable against heavy cavalry. +3 melee armor. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, those hand cannoneers do sound like they could be a real problem. Yikes, what do you do against that? Like, other than maybe crossbow? I don't know. That sounds really tough to deal with. I think the Civ is probably... I think the Civ is probably pretty strong, honestly. Yeah, I was just gonna say they do. I'm glad it mentioned they look kind of like Burgundians, because this does feel kind of like Burgundian-y with like getting the Boyar upgrade in Castle. Yeah, and Burgundians, they're not that great, but I don't know, that hand cannoneer bonus. They look formidable. Let's put it that way. They do look formidable. 1 second here as I'm going to grab a cup. Alrighty. Yep, the Rus, they look formidable. Saracens, for quite a while, have the developers been trying to give Saracens a monk identity, which is why Madrasha was a thing. But Madrasha sucked as a unique tech, so I made it a civ bonus instead. It only happens in Imperial Age, but it also affects dervishes, which, coincidentally, are also affected by the HP bonus. Not camelry, though. They're renamed zealotry, since camelry is obviously for camels. Okay, yeah, sure. I'm on board. However, it does make Saracen dervishes quite a viable raiding unit, even able to replace light cavalry in trash wars to an extent. The Saracens start with a camel scout, and being able to train camel scouts with extra hit points gives them an edge against scout rushes, and even helps a bit against archers. Their anti-building bonus for cavalry archers also returns from the Forgotten Lands. See what I did there? Can't say that I do. The third Saracen unique tech, Wet Hides, can be researched at the dock and increases the melee and ship armor of warships by 1, making them more resilient against fire ships. Huh. Little underwhelming, but I guess the Saracens are already considerably good, so what more would you really do there? They're already just kind of like standalone pretty good. The bonus damage resistance of the Sicilians, which was their civilization defining bonus, has been nerfed twice into something that barely has an effect. This is unacceptable and needed to be reverted. Other than that, Sicilians have access to Crusader Knights, which benefit from hauberk, making them very dangerous given the combination of their very high armor and bonus damage resistance. Their third unique tech is the returning Scootage, except this time it doesn't cost gold, making it more interesting to research. For a reminder, Scootage grants a 15 gold payment for each military unit owned. I don't think the Sicilians are really that good, and I don't think they got really much better with this, so pretty underwhelming. They kind of feel like kind of the bottom of the power here. Maybe I'm not giving them enough credit, but I've always kind of felt like they're kind of weak. However, maybe in this mod, they're actually really strong now because they're donjons. They can build donjons without having to upgrade the tower tech. That could be something. So maybe they did just get better with towers being slowed down. These Crusader Knights are scary, says hacheef. Yeah, okay. You know what? Yeah, you're right. I'm ignorant to what hauberk does. So before I form an opinion, let me remind myself what hauberk does. Cost 700 food, 600 gold. Researched at the castle. Research time 45 minutes. Hauberk is a technology that could be researched at the castle, and we just said that. It grants players knights and cavaliers +1 melee armor and +2 pierce armor. It replaces the previous imperial unique technology for Sicilians. Scootage. Yeah, we mentioned that. Okay. +1 melee armor, +2 pierce armor. That is actually really good. So I believe you that the Crusader Knights sound like bad boys. All right. And then also the reverted bonus damage reduction. Sure. Yeah. And then quite possibly, like, how do you stop a dungeon rush now? Wow. Yeah, I think you've got a point. Yeah, they're going to be really hard to stand with if in like right there in that regards, but I don't know. I need to see a Crusader Knight perform. I need to play test and like so I have an idea in my mind of like, okay, this is a Crusader Knight. This is how I've seen it perform. I've only got an idea right now. I want to give him a go. But yeah, so I'm just kind of reading information. I don't really have a good opinion because I haven't really played them yet. Played with those Crusader Knights. With several bonuses that each quietly help the Spanish in the background, this civilization has a pretty smooth economy. To that, we can add a very strong market with an exchange rate at 10% and a reduced training time for slaver cavalry by 30%, allowing them to resume villager production faster. Do the Spanish really need to get faster? The increased number of technologies in the mod also participates to their gold bonus. Oh, please don't make the Spanish unstoppable. They gain access to organ guns, which are helped by the attack reload time bonus, as well as genitors for historical reasons, replacing skirmishers in feudal age, helping in early raiding. Their missionaries remain the same, but their conquistadors gain bonus damage against elephant units. Nice. Yeah, I think you had mentioned that like elephant units are going to take more damage from gunpowder and are helped by the third Spanish unique tech, Hidalgos, which can be researched at the castle in Imperial Age and reduce the bonus damage they take by 30%. 30% may not seem like much, given that Sicilian have a 50% bonus damage resistance for all their non-siege land units, and for free, but the squishy conquistadors take bonus damage from so many sources that Hidalgos is a most welcome extra layer of protection for them. Okay, you did not give the Spanish too much. That's good. I don't think the Spanish deserve very much. I feel like they are just like their building time is just, you know what I mean? Like they can build a defensive castle or an aggressive castle, and there's just nothing you can do about it. They just get it up so fast. So yeah, like specifically with that, I'm glad you didn't give the Spanish a whole lot more. Maybe I'm underestimating it, but I don't think they really deserve much more. They're still going to be up there in like the top 10 for sure. Tatars gain access to camel archers, which synergizes considerably better with their civilization bonuses as well as their unique technology silk armor. Keshiks have been reworked into a step lancer replacement, gaining 1 range. Cool. Their gold generation has been reduced from 0.01 to 0.0035. 0.007 for elite Keshiks, but works against buildings as well as units. Being built from stables, their resource cost and training time has been aligned with step lancers. Ooh, okay. Their third unique technology, Timurid Renaissance, grants them a whole new booming potential, as it allows all of their civilization buildings, such as mill, resource camps, monastery, town center, university, blacksmith, to work in 33% less time. Pretty good. Assuming this technology is researched as soon as they hit castle, it would put villager production on halt for 50 seconds, or the time it takes to make 2 villagers, but pays off after the 9th villager is built, where the Tatars would be 1 villager ahead of other civilizations. And then, naturally, the more town centers, the faster the payoff. Honestly, like, Tatar Boom sounds pretty badass, honestly. Like, if you're a boomer, you're going to want to play Tatars, I think. Like, they're not getting, like, a discount on their stone like the Britons or anything, but still, like, this might be even better I think this is probably like, yeah, I think this is probably a better bonus than just a discount on your TCs, is that everything's going to work in less time. I wonder how close that comes to like Imperial Age Persians. Less time. Wonder how that would compare. Teutons, much like the English range bonus, has been reworked. The Teuton armor bonus has been reworked in the exact same way. Hacheef says Imperial Age Persians is 16.7% less time. Holy cow! Yeah, so that's actually a pretty freaking big deal. Oh boy, the Tatar boom. The Tatar boom! Sheesh. Yeah. That's one I want to try out too. Much like the English range bonus has been reworked, the Teuton armor bonus has been reworked in the exact same way. It also affects Teutonic Knights and Crusader Knights. Sick. Teutonic Knights have less armor to balance it out, but Crusader Knights become very well armored, making them more comparable to Boyar or Sicilian Cavaliers than Paladins. Yeah. This cavalry armor bonus is a thing between like the Teutons that the Teutons are going to be getting here. The Holy Roman Empire can be said to strike back as the mythical Teuton Death Star is back from the long bygone era of Age of Kings, granting +5 range to town centers as a civ bonus. The extra garrison space in towers does affect Springled Towers, allowing them to fire extra arrows. The third Teuton unique tech, Gross Bosch, can be researched at the Siege Workshop once chemistry is acquired, and increases the hit points and blast radius of bombard cannons by 50%. It is quite expensive, as one might expect, costing stone. Hello. Tie for money? What's going on? I mean, Teutons are good and all, but like mostly in my opinion, just for like their farming bonus, like, you know, their cheaper farms. But I mean, overall, they seem kind of middle of the pack here. You know, like, sure, you're defensive, where it's like, yeah, look how many vills I can jam in these town centers, or I don't know. I just feel like Teutons are kind of boom or bust, or like, I guess that's not the right expression. It's just kind of like, yeah, I guess they're more defensive, but then once they get to capes, they should be good. But getting that bonus to armor on the Crusader Knights sounds quite underestimated by me, similar to the Sicilians. Anyway, the Turks had several possible candidates that could benefit from their Pierce armor bonus, those being Slaver Cavalry, Steppe Lancer, and Dervishes, all of them available to the Turks. I chose Slaver Cavalry as elite Steppe Lancers already got +1 Pierce armor in a recent patch, and Dervishes are already quite strong against archers. This makes Slaver Cavalry more usable in feudal combat if necessary, although they are still not an ideal choice. But more importantly, it allows them to better resist archers or towers that might be guarding enemy villagers. Alright. Janissaries have their roles swapped with the vanilla hand cannoneers. In vanilla, hand cannoneers are anti-infantry specialists, while Janissaries are more of a generalist unit with higher attack, but no bonus damage, since rebalancement turns hand cannoneers into strong anti-armor generalists. I decided to grant an anti-infantry bonus to Janissaries. Since Turks don't get slingers anyway, Janissaries still ignore armor, but they have lower attack than normal to compensate. Ah, jeez. Okay. Yee. I mean, oh yeah, that's right. Janissaries are a little different than just like a hand cannoneer. Okay, that should be really strong, actually. With Sipahi affecting camel archers, the Turks obtain a candidate for the strongest mounted archer in the game. Cool. Archer Saddle, the third unique technology of the Turks, increases the melee armor of Steppe Lancers and Dervishes by 1, which makes Steppe Lancers able to beat heavy cavalry with equal resources and can be researched at the stable and castle age. I, never play Turks. So, I understand how good they are, but I don't really usually use them. So, I'm not good with them, so I'm not really sure how any of this really changes much, other than the Janissaries getting bonus damage against infantry. So yeah, can't really formulate an opinion. Would have to see it in action on that one. Vietnamese, in an earlier version of the mod, I had designed a unit called the Siege Skirmisher. That would be a second unit for the Vietnamese. There was no historical basis for that at all. I just thought it was too funny not to include. The Siege Skirmisher is no longer present, but the Vietnamese still get some changes. As much as it broke my heart to do so, I had to lower the attack of Rattan archers so that they could fit as replacements to the composite anti-leech archers without being completely overpowered. That's fair. Their hit point bonus has been reworked, no longer affecting hand cannoneers, but instead all foot and mounted archers. Remember, hand cannoneers are getting all the bonuses and none of the backdrop. Feels like hand cannoneers sound like they're just going to be absolutely devastating in this mod. They also gain a slightly stronger Dark Age due to their economic tech discount affecting hunting dogs. Okay. Yeah, slightly stronger, sure. But like other civilizations from Rise of the Rajas, the Vietnamese potential with elephant units is where most changes are made, as Shatras affects every elephant unit, and they gain access to elephant archers and elephant cannoneers, the former being affected by the archer hit point bonus. The third unique tech of the Vietnamese grants them some more defensive potential on water maps, as it is a second level for heated shot that can be accessed in Imperial Age. Its effect is only 50% of heated shot, but the cumulative bonus damage against ships is quite impressive. I mean, that seems good. Give them some power on water. I mean, I already feel like Vietnamese are just pretty solid as they are. But yeah, getting elephants. Yeah, give them a little bit of water help. That seems good. And the Vikings. Fun fact, the Vikings figured out a primitive version of steel by forging animal bones into their weapons. They thought that the spirit of the animals would strengthen the weapons, but the carbon contained in the bones made the weapon stronger. To reflect that, the Vikings can build a blacksmith in Dark Age and research melee attack upgrades an age earlier. They have a slaver cavalry that is as their starting scout. What? I forgot that. They have a slaver cavalry as their starting scout. That, which is a complicated trade-off. What the heck? No! Scouting information is vital in Dark Age, but kidnapping your opponent's villagers early can grant you a very strong economic advantage. So, you decide. The Vikings' third unique tech, Faithless Looting, grants +4 attack versus civilian buildings to their militia line.
Yes.
Yeah, confirmed. Yes, on the Vikings. Wonderful flavor. I missed that point that they start with a slaver cavalry. That is funny, but yeah, the question is, can you afford to do a drush and afford a blacksmith to get the weapon upgrade too? That is something we're going to have to try to figure out, because usually the drush happens before the mill. So are you going to be able to afford the mill and the blacksmith and forging? I don't know. Something in my heart says it's probably not. I don't know. I'll have to try it. Ooh, boy. Okay. Nice. Yeah, that Holy cow, yeah, that took like 2 hours to read there, but we are through it. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I'll try to maybe make this into a YouTube video. I don't know. I know some people hate reading and some people would rather just have it like read to them. So kind of what I had in mind. I was like, maybe I could just read this out if anybody just wants to watch the video and just like listen to it or something rather than having to read it, because it is kind of a long read, but not really. I mean, it's not a long read. It only took long because reading aloud and giving perspective along the way and commentary. And will you be able to do that? Do all that while remembering to kidnap villagers? Yeah, no, like, but still, Vikings definitely feel like that one that was like given like something different. But I mean, Vikings are already like economically just really good. I mean, not tremendously good, but if you think about like free handcart and wheelbarrow, not only are you getting those techs for free that affect anything a villager goes to do, basically, like if a villager has to walk to build something, wheelbarrow and handcart is affecting that vill, right? Faster speed. But you also don't have to spend the time upgrading handcart, wheelbarrow and handcart. So like, that's a really good one. Vikings are pretty good. I don't know if they're like the top, but I like eco bonuses, so they get an eco bonus. All right. I don't think there's really much more to it. Yeah, it'd be cool if we could get some games in, but no big deal. I'm kind of exhausted, but I'll go ahead and just like end the stream here and see about maybe making a video out of it. I don't know. Yeah, thanks for coming.